Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So, global, we are very close to moving into the anniversary. As we could see, the free-to-play Goku, and the LR Babidi, well, becomes LR Babidi, and then the Hercule right here. These are free-to-play characters that will drop as soon as the anniversary starts. I believe we can expect that the 8th anniversary LRs might drop only a day after. Maybe they drop that day, maybe they drop 2 days. It's always one of these things where it's like, you know, Dokkan has shown that they'll release it, you know, kind of in a similar pattern. And then they could always just switch it up, right? Like, we've seen this a million times recently. So I think that is very important. Now, the celebration itself, right, is going to start in a couple of days, right, on the 7th. And then at that time, we should find out exactly when the 8th anniversary LRs will drop. Of course, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, as well as the, whatchamacallit. Okay, this is... Okay, so they don't have it. Let me just quickly pull up the 8th anniversary LRs so I can just put them up while we're talking about them. Alright, so it's these two bad boys right here. These guys, and then, of course, these guys. These units are still... some of the best characters in the game, right? They definitely have not really fallen off or anything like that. I think Dokkan has done a good job of kind of keeping a general sort of power level for most of the game recently, right? Again, I feel like they have done a pretty decent job with that. So, we're looking pretty good with these guys. Again, I would guess, my gut is telling me, I think the 8th is probably when these guys are going to come out. But again, we'll find out once the 8th anniversary actually officially starts, right? So let's take a look at the characters that are actually put into the data right here. These are essentially all of the sort of Part 1 characters. Now, well, plus the 8th anniversary LRs, which will be in a second data download. During the 8th anniversary, I will maintain forever that people were kind of whiny, and this celebration was way better than people gave it credit for. And one of the main reasons for this is that it started when Orange Piccolo and Beast Gohan dropped at the end of December, but from that period until the end of the 8th anniversary, they were doing kind of like a model of like every 3 or 4 days there was something was dropping, right? So you have the major banners, I guess, which also includes these two. We could pull them up and we'll briefly talk about them in a second. I mean, there's going to be another global data download in a day or two. We'll talk about them more in depth there, but this is this first part. And then, this, difficult content event will show up. This is kind of like a nuking event. It's meant to sort of play around with the spirit bombs and stuff like that. It's decent. There's a lot of missions, a lot of rewards and stuff like that with it. Then a couple of days later, on the 3rd, was Super Vegito and the, EZA Buu, which of course are already in the global data. Then, a couple of days later, Part 2 officially started, right, with a ton of events. More stages of the Shadow Dragon Difficult event, Infinite Tribal History stage, the Awakenings for these guys. A couple of days later, you have 2 other major EZA characters. Then, of course, like, you know, a couple of days later, you get the Part 2 LRs, and then a couple of days later, there was a World Tournament, and then a couple of days later, there was Part 3, and then a couple of days later, there was this, like, you guys see, and then a couple of days later, it was, like, it's just a constant string. And it's like, I will never forgive people for saying, oh my god, the anniversary sucks. And it's like, you just look at this, it's like, are you, bro, what are you talking about? Like, come on, can we please, like, it's so easy to criticize this game, like, justly, point out all the ridiculousness here. But, like, let's try and stick to, like, actual shit to complain about. Like, let's talk about, why is there no pity in the game? That's a great point to make. It makes no sense. Let's just do it, Dokkan, right? This celebration is good. All right, so we got that. I mean, again, I don't really want to talk about these guys too much. They're not even in the data download. Both of these characters pretty much suck. I mean, this character, this is, like, this unit is not crazy. I mean, they've got some stuff, right? They got a little bit of HP regen, and, like, they could stack up a little bit, but this is just a very unimpressive character, I've found. Although they are on some teams like Heavenly Events, where they certainly could be helpful, or maybe a buff for Connected Hope or something like that, right? Like, they could get a little bit of value there. This character, they could have made this unit actually good, and it would have really helped. I mean, now we're about to get a Carnival LR baby, right? Like, imagine if this character was actually good on GT bosses, and, you know, maybe we could use them with Carnival LR baby, and we'd get our LR Omega and stuff like that. Like, this character is actually, like, offensive. Like, me and Gresh have laughed for years at Anniversary Ice and Nova Shenron in Legends, but at least in Legends, they were, like, usable. You could use Nova and Ice when they came out in Legends. I don't know about usable in Dokkan, though. That's usable is a stretch. I think a better thing to say would be they're like the worst summonable unit ever released, right? Raditz is more egregious because he's a Dokkan Fest, but like that, they just suck. There's literally nothing there. You can't like there's not really like, oh, but this, or oh, they do this. It's like not really. They're just trash. All right, so let's take a look at the characters that are actually here. Starting with Super Vegito. Super Vegito has a bit of a tough reputation. People act like he's a complete zero, which isn't all the way true, but I think you could, like, let's just compare him to other EZA TURs released in 2023, and even there, he does not compare, right? MVP 17, Piccolo, Blue Kaioken, AGL Blue Gogeta, like this Vegito just doesn't feel up to, or even the new Beerus who came out today on JP was very good. Vegito just doesn't feel that good to me, right? Now, this guy actually is quite good in the hardest fight in the game, though. See, it gets tough because it's like, how much stock do we put into how a character performs in the hardest fight in the game? I would say that's very important, but, I mean, if that is true, then that means this Vegito is way better than people give him credit for, because 8th Anniversary Sin Shenron can be very difficult, because he'll do these AoE normal attacks that do 500k damage, and he oftentimes does a lot of them in slot 1, right, which will kill. Many great characters will just get torn to shreds before they can attack, right? Now, Vegito can't be hurt by normal attacks, basically. So it's like Vegito can be great for that Sin Shenron fight, right? If we're, maybe running him in like Final Trump card or something like that, he won't take damage from the normal attacks. It's only a super attack that could damage this guy, right? And in particular, against 8th Anniversary Sin Shenron, of every major boss almost ever, I feel like 8th Anniversary Sin, it is easier to predict where he will super attack than other major bosses. It seems almost maybe like 95% of the time, Sin just super attacks within his like first 2 attacks every single time. That physical Sin boss, he is always just immediately super attacking. It's just so common for him to do. I've never seen another boss instantly super as much as him. So that makes it like this guy a very good run in the hardest fight in the game. Although he's not anything special out, like I wouldn't run this guy like at all outside of the hardest fight in the game, but in the hardest fight in the game, this guy is actually a decent run, right? It's just the way they built, they made AGL Super Vegito too good when he first came out, and it's like counter characters for the most part are suffering because of AGL Super Vegito's dominance the day he came out. Even I remember clearly when this guy first came out in 2017, people were disappointed at this guy's base right here. People were disappointed at this when this guy originally came out, right? So there's him. We have Super Buu right here. Now, Super Buu was a lot better when he was the best Majin Buu character in the game. Now, obviously, I mean, we have, LR Super Buu, who is definitely quite a bit better, I would say. The problem with this character is that he's just pretty shitty until turn 5 when you transform into one of these different versions based off of what your HP is. If you're above 80%, you transform into Buu Ultimate Gohan. This is God right here. He is so crazy, this guy. It's nuts how good he is. Just what he has, the regen, the huge stats, additional and guard, like 70% chance to guard, and this additional, like for 6 turn, like I'd love 100% chance to guard, but it's like on an EZA TUR, this is great. I think LR Super Buu being great chance to guard is like, fuck you, right? But this guy, I'm fine with this for an EZA TUR. I think this guy is crazy, like exceptional, incredible super attack effect, incredible link set. This guy is him. Like, he is so nasty. But it's turn 5, and you have to be specifically above that HP condition. The other one we could get that is really good, we're just going to talk about this guy down here, is if you're at 49% HP or less, you'll turn into Buu Piccolo. This guy is phenomenal. I believe this is probably the best partner for LR Super Buu right now in the game, is this guy. This guy is just nutty, right? 20% HP regen. He's got good stats. He has this nice support right here. He gets 50% damage reduction as the first or second attacker on the turn. This does activate before he attacks as well, so you can run him in slot 1. Then he gets you more HP regen at the end. Like, he's just pretty good. 100% defense right there. He's got the nice Majin Buu link set. I like this guy. I mean, the Buhan portion is probably better, but this guy is great. I really like what he's doing. So that's good. But if you are in between this HP threshold right here, this guy just sucks. He's just worthless. This guy's worthless. He sucks. He's so bad. His defense is horrible. It's like he gets like over in a flash and Kamehameha. Like, I don't know. Like, this guy is just so bad. Because, like, this, you're not going to activate. You don't attack debuff and defensive debuff enemies on turn 5 and beyond. It doesn't happen in, like, actual fights, right? Like, so this guy is he's just really bad. It's actually crazy, like, how horrible this guy is compared to the other 2 forms. This guy, he's so bad. He's so bad. What could they have done to fix him? 70% chance to dodge start a turn. He should have. Yeah. And at least like 30% attack and defense right here. Buddy doesn't have a super attack effect. Like, he doesn't have a super attack effect, essentially. Remember, you see, oh, well, he seals. He lowers attack. That's so good. It is. On turn 1. Not turn 5. Right? This guy is just ass. But Buhan is crazy. Right? And Buu Piccolo is really good, too. So, it's like, you do have those there. This guy is just, I mean, he's just a login unit, right? Like, I do like what they did right here with the dragon, with the 8 right here. It's funny, I was just talking about this with Dotto recently, how, like, this is cool, right? Like, they gotta start getting real creative with how they're gonna have Goku starting to hold these Dragon Balls and stuff like that, but this is fun. The unit is not really too crazy, but, I mean, the free login unit, it's not a big deal, right? Like, you know, the only disappointment I have maybe here is that, I mean, this is do they have the... I know they have a screen here for... I thought they did. For, like, just all the different grindable, like, base Gokus we have, there's so many. So it's like some of these types of free-to-play characters, like, oh, now we could, you know, use this to raise super attack levels of other, like, Goku, stuff like that, but it's just a base Goku. Which, I mean, the version Z Goku drops as a TUR, which means you have a really high chance to raise super attack levels with that TUR Goku. But yeah, this guy's not really too crazy, but it is what it is, whatever. Then we have Babidi. So Babidi gets an LR. It'll be in part 2 where you'll be able to awaken him to LR, and then of course part 3 where you'll be able to EZA him. Now, this character annoyed a lot of people, this Majin Vegito right here. Goresh even told me that Japanese players in particular were very upset that they just use this as like this, like, standby for this free-to-play character, right? That this isn't like, you know, some summonable LR or something like that. I have found that they didn't quite give enough to either Babidi or Majin Vegeta. Now, so we now have 2 other examples of this, where we have a standby that doesn't attack, right? We have the Oob and Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and then we have the base Goku and base Vegeta of the 8th anniversary main unit. The thing with Oob and base Vegeta is that they can't be touched. They actually are the 2 strongest defensive characters in the game, right? Whereas this guy is okay-ish if he's got type advantage. His design just is trash, right? Because it's like you have to get to 15 ki for him to be defensive. I don't know why they didn't just make him just like the base Vegeta, right? Like, he should be creating rainbow orbs, and then he gets, like, you know, damage reduction or defense or something from the orbs. I don't know. This is just, I think his design is just dreadful. It's just terrible. I'm not impressed whatsoever. Now, if you're going to take this guy against, like, a tech boss, and you've got the 15 ki, like, he could definitely be tanky, but there's not even some great reward to it, right? It's not like you do these finish attacks, and then they're, oh, so crazy or something like that. Like, not at all. Babidi is decent-ish because, you know, he does have support, he does have dodge and stuff like that. I just don't like all these different, like, oh, super class restrictions and extreme class restrictions on enemies. I don't know. I mean, that the extra key right there against a super class enemy seems pretty valuable. I don't know. He's okay. I mean, you've got the high chance to seal, high chance to stun. I look at this Babidi and I see him as a potential good super battle road option, or I guess even battlefield option for some of these categories, right? It's probably the way to utilize that Babidi. And then we got Hercule. So again, you'll get Hercule, during part 1. Then you'll be able to awaken him in part 2 and ease him in part 3. I think Hercule just sucks. He's just kind of worthless. Kind of a disappointment because we have seen some really good free-to-play characters this year. The 8th anniversary free-to-play units are not it, but if we're gonna compare the 8th anniversary to anything, it would be to the 7th anniversary. And the 7th anniversary free-to-play characters kind of like suck balls too. Like, not really too impressed with them. I mean, I guess you could do shenanigans with Goku and Frieza having like a ghost usher, but like that's it. That's all they bring to the table. This guy's got a revive, but like, guess what? High chance to revive sucks. So, not really too impressed with our boy Hercule. So, I don't know. I just don't really see a lot of value in this guy. It's he's a little weird. This unit is a bit weird, so he's not really too crazy. So, let me know what you guys think of the global data download. Again, we're moving into the anniversary now. We'll get all of the actual like details and stuff like that coming up in a couple of days. 8th anniversary LRs, of course, are great. There definitely is some fun stuff. I believe they also did take away the red zone daily limits for the anniversary, so you guys will be able to do as many red zone runs as you want during the anniversary, which of course is always fun. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.